today to again apply pressure. Truck's coming out, truck's coming out, truck's coming out. Go, come on, fast.
God.
We might be able to get there. They're coming out fast. Guys, we're here, we're approaching a slaughterhouse. Oh, damn it, we're far away. The gate may be closed. Let's see what it's like when we get there. I can smell it already, it stinks. Camera's facing down here. Yeah, go, quicker, you can get there. Oh my God. Oh my God. Quick, look inside. What are you doing? What is in there? Oh my God. Is that skins? I think they had skins over there. Are there animals in the lairage? See if you can see any animals. I'll give you a step set up. Oh my God.
It's the lairage here. So where the animals are dropped off into here. Truck's just gone in unloading them off. So
wow.
Be in there.
You're looking live right now inside of a slaughterhouse here in the UK. They didn't expect us coming.
No.
Let's get set up, guys. I'm gonna go through disclaimers in a second.
Someone's on the gate already.
Yeah. How do you sleep at night doing this? How do you sleep at night being part of this system? How do you sleep at night being part of this system? Why are you putting that on a manual? Why do you turn that off? Why don't you allow the public to see the animals? Why don't you allow them to see the animals? What are you trying to hide in here? What are you hiding? Why is there so much secrecy? Why is there so much secrecy? What are you trying to hide? What are you hiding? Hiding. Secrecy, hiding, no transparency. There you go for the thing.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, here's our disclaimers that we usually say on the approach, but we saw a lorry leaving, which gave us an opportunity to show you inside of a slaughterhouse here live in the UK. Our first disclaimers is we're not here to cause alarm, harassment, distress, or any form of intimidation. We're here today under our right to protest, freedom of speech, and the right to assembly. Our second disclaimer is that we are not here to clash with non-vegans, to point fingers at you and say you're a bad person. We're here to educate you and show you the truth that, as you can see, the industry tries so hard to keep from you. As you come in this stream, we need you to do two things. Please double tap the live stream to give it a like so that more and more people can see this, so the animals are seen by more and more. And please subscribe and let us know, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, subscribe and put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to the conversation, and subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan.
Legends, we've got Callum who is at Langport Slaughterhouse as we speak right now as well.
Well done, Callum. Well done for being there and help to expose the evil that animals are facing worldwide today.
Legend.
This isn't just one bad practice, this is systemic violence, and we're here across the world, across the UK, to bring the consumer and the public the truth and the reality. Now, did you see that the gate was an automatic system, and as soon as activists turn up, they shut the gate off of automatic and they run it manually because they can open and close it faster, because they don't want you to see the animals who are coming in here today. We are outside of a slaughterhouse here live in the UK. The slaughterhouse is ABP Slaughterhouse. They execute and murder cows here, cows from the dairy industry and cows from the meat industry. And today you will be seeing animals come past on their last journeys into this slaughterhouse before tonight they'll be stabbed in the throat, chopped up into pieces and sent to supermarkets. Subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe and put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to the conversation and why we're here. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. If being kind to animals upsets you and triggers you, put a 3 in the chat. Please double tap the live stream. Please go into the Linktree link and hit on the top 2 documentaries, Dominion and Ignorant. Have you got more questions?
Yeah, just so many people saying there's no way you're vegan.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've been vegan for over 5 years now. I'm vegan because I saw an amazing activist called Joey Carbstrong. Go to Joey's channel and subscribe. He's got a big expose coming out on Sunday. I'm vegan because I saw inside of a slaughterhouse and I saw a dairy cow having her life being taken, and I realised that she was in there for my choices. And I explained to you what I mean about that. If you subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, subscribe and put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations, subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. When I say that she's in there because of my choices, all of this evil, all of these industries that exploit animals, they run off of supply and demand. Every time that you buy even one block of cheese or one tiny 100 ml of milk, you are creating a demand to put the next animal in there. Now today we are going to be connecting you from the product on the shelf to the individual that was exploited for it to get there.
Okay, so conservative put, not a chance. It takes meat protein to be that big.
No chance, no. It takes nutrients to be this big, nutrients, and you can select the ingredients. Now here's the good news. When you can select the ingredients to get this big and you don't pay for anyone else to scream, suffer and die inside of a slaughterhouse, that's a pretty big, amazing thing to do, isn't it? You can just choose the nutrients that are from plants. Subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe and put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to the conversations. And I want to say thank you to anyone who's not vegan and you are in this live stream. Please put your comments in here. We will try and get through to comments as we are here exposing the reality and truth to you.
Cameras
and subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan, if being kind to animals triggers you. Please double tap the live stream and go to the link in the description and watch the 2 documentaries. The first one, Dominion. Second one is Pignorant by our friend Joey Carpster. We're live outside of a slaughterhouse. We're bringing you the truth. This industry, they don't tell you the truth. They use marketing tactics like the RSPCA Assured scheme, the Red Tractor certifications. They use marketing terms like organic, free range, and grass fed. These are all marketing terms to make the consumer believe that what happens on animal farms and slaughterhouses is ethical and humane. But there's no right way to do the wrong thing. Every single animal that's trapped inside these industries have the desire to live. They're having a subjective experience. They have friends, they have families. There's no right way to execute them and kill them.
Pebble put, I'm number 2. I mean, I like a lot of animals, but they're supposed to be eaten.
Pebble, first of all, thank you for being here and thank you for taking the time to be a question in there. You're literally probably in the same position as 99% of vegans before they went vegan. A lot of us, if you'd have spoke to me before I was vegan, I would have said I loved animals. I was just disconnected from some animals. Now, let me tell you what that actually is. It's known as speciesism. It's a form of racism for the animals. It's being prejudiced to the animals because of the way they look. They've got beaks, they've got feathers, they've got fur, they've got hooves, they've got tails. And because of that, because they look different, because they look a certain way, we have been designed, or we've been conditioned to be speciesist towards them, which means that we accept that it's okay to exploit and kill them, but actually it's not. It's the same as racism, but towards animals.
People are just like adamant that you're not vegan because they don't think protein comes from plants. Where is protein made?
Yeah, proteins come from plants. It comes from the amino acids in the soil during photosynthesis, to be specific. Tofu has got all amino acids in it. If you want a full spectrum of amino acids, then go for tofu. I eat seitan, tofu and tempeh as my main sources, and then I have the vegan alternatives.
Oh,
but
no,
it's absolutely simple. It's
side.
absolutely easy to be vegan when your why you should be vegan is strong. Let's get inside again. As I open this gate, let's go. Let's get inside, let's get inside, let's show them. Let's show them, let's let that skip get in. Let's go over to the right. I think that the skins are there. I think they've got skins. Yeah, this is where the skins are. The skins are in the light brown boxes. Now, the reason why the skins are in the light brown boxes over there is because the leather industry is a standalone industry. I'll explain to you all about the leather industry after you subscribe. Put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Let us know where you are, 1, 2 or 3, and double tap that live stream. Now, people often think that the leather industry is just a byproduct from the dairy industry or the meat industry. The leather industry is a co-product, it's a standalone product. So this is why veganism isn't a diet. Veganism is not just referring to the animals that are exploited for food. It's also referring to animals who are exploited in industries that exploit them for their skin. And this is what the leather industry is. This is why vegans won't buy leather jackets or leather shoes. We won't buy woolly jumpers. We won't buy fur coats, because animals were exploited, commodified and executed for them products. And that there is unethical. Subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you agree with me and you're already vegan. Subscribe and put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded to why we're here. If you're not vegan yet, but you consider yourself a kind person. And like the kind number 2 commented earlier, they said, I love some animals, but I'm not vegan. Maybe you're in the same position, but let's work through this and ask yourself why you've only been taught to love some animals. And subscribe and put 3 in the chat if being kind to animals upsets you. Please double tap the live stream. Have you got questions?
Soccer for life, but I'm vegetarian.
Okay, well listen, vegetarians, a lot of vegetarians that I've spoke to go vegetarian for ethical reasons, because they think being vegetarian doesn't hurt animals. This slaughterhouse that we're stood outside of right now is executing dairy cows from the dairy industry, which is a standalone industry which vegetarians support. If you are vegetarian, you are still responsible for the exploitation and murder of animals for dairy and for eggs. And of course, vegetarians would still buy leather shoes, leather jackets, you'd still go to the aquarium, you'd still go to the zoo. All of these industries are exploitative to animals. So I urge you, if you are a vegetarian who has gone vegetarian because ethically and morally you don't want to be responsible for hurting animals, then you have to be vegan. That's the only way for you to be consistent. Let me swap in with Mel.
Yeah, really well said. So guys, we're at a slaughterhouse right now behind us. When we arrived, there was a truck that came out, so we came and we showed you this area. Behind me, there is a lairage. That's somewhere where they take animals in after they've come off these trucks. It's basically like a dungeon where they keep the animals before the kill floor is ready to be free for those animals to be forced inside. What will happen to these animals from the dairy industry and the beef industry here is that they will get taken into a knockbox alone in this like metal container that they can't get out. I'll explain more in just a second. Please subscribe at the top, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded, but you are not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Please double tap the live stream, keep liking this live, comment and share. Even if you don't know what we're talking about, please like this live because the likes is what gets the algorithm out to the world.
We've got 46 likes already, 47 likes already.
Legends. Let's get to 50 as soon as possible. A few more likes. Guys, so when they're in the knockbox, basically it's like a metal cage that's around them. They then have their bolt gun shoved into their face and it goes straight through their skull. The bolt gun is not for the animals, it's for the workers to make it safer for the workers, because when you go with a knife and you have a knife and you go towards an animal with a knife, they try and evade, they try and fight back, so it's safer for the workers. But the animals still feel everything. A lot of people call this humane slaughter, but the animals are still conscious, they're still alive, and then they have their necks slashed open, decapitated, hung upside down, and blood will drip from their bodies.
G's fault put, it's not a tradition, it's a way of life and survival and basic biology, you absolute nutters.
No, we thrive on a plant-based diet. Thank you for your comment. I'm really sad to see that you're having a bit of a tantrum on your own. But no, all of our nutrients come from plants. And like, look, slaughterhouse opened again here. Look, this driver here is cleaning this truck down. This driver here is cleaning this truck down. What are they doing underneath there? What are they doing underneath there? Loads of them are underneath cleaning that truck. What is happening there? So that's the washdown area. Basically, when animals are so afraid, they go into fight and flight, so their autonomic nervous system hits in, which means they defecate everywhere. They poo and wee everywhere. Now, sometimes what happens on these trucks as well is that you get a downed dairy cow. I'll explain the dairy industry in just 1 second. Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe at the top, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe at the top and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream, like, share, and comment. So basically a downed dairy cow. So in the dairy industry, the dairy cows go through such torture. They're the most abused animal of all farmed animals. They basically get pregnancy forced upon them. They get put into something called a castle crush where they cannot escape. It's a cage that goes around them. The farmer has access to her back end and he makes her pregnant. He puts himself inside of her. He puts his arm inside of her up to his elbow, and then he puts a metal rod inside of her and makes her pregnant. She carries her baby for 9 months. Was there a question?
Yeah, no, you're fine at the end of this.
Yeah, she carries her baby for 9 months. If her baby is a male, they take the males away and they kill the males because they don't produce milk. Okay, they get sentenced to a slaughterhouse to be killed. If the baby is a female, they get put into isolation huts away from their mother. I'll explain more in just a second. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Please subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded, but you're not vegan yet because maybe you don't know these industries. And please subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream, like, share, and please keep commenting and asking questions. The female gets put into an isolation hutch away from her mother. The mother is very maternal, just like humans are. It's torment for the mother, it's horrible for them. How do you live with yourself? No, shame on you. You have a dog. You have a dog, yet you're racist to those animals. Why are you racist to those animals? What made you so weak? You're an animal abuser. Shameful. You're weak people. How dare you do that to animals? How could you? Where's your heart and empathy? They're mothers. How dare they do that? They have a dog in the car and they're taking animals to be killed inside this place. That's speciesist. It's a form of racism. They take them into this place, which is a lairage. They've just left animals in there to be killed, to be stabbed in the throat, and all they can do is laugh. They had a dog in the front. Okay, so if you're not vegan, you're basically being racist towards the animals. It's a form of racism because you're treating someone different purely on the way that they look, purely on the way they look. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe and put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded, but you're not vegan yet. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Please double tap this live stream, like, share, and comment.
Minecraft, but you guys won't change anything. The government won't stop putting meat in shops. It has nutritional benefits, and steak is the food with the most nutrients. People just pissed at you.
No, absolutely not. The world will change. That's like saying slavery will never end because, the government have slaves and they want people to have slaves. You know what? It takes a small group of people to stand up for what is right, and that's what creates systemic change. You're the minority of someone who is just like, has a defeatist mindset. You can change this today. This isn't the government, this is you. The power is in the consumer's hand. This is just a business. It's not the backbone of society. We don't need these industries. You stop paying for it, they collapse.
A highlighted comment that just stood out to me, and then they just retracted it, was from King James, saying you guys can't tell people to stop eating meat. We were born eating meat.
And then they retracted their comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, good choice retracting that comment. If you think we're born eating meat, then why aren't you killing humans and eating humans? Why aren't you killing dogs and eating dogs? Okay, please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream, like, share, comment, and please subscribe.
Lucy Nelson, thank you for your comment. Lucy's put, is pescatarian the same as vegan?
No, so pescatarian is just a diet. So you still would consume like dairy, eggs, and fish, and you would go to zoos, horse racing, potentially bullfighting. Veganism is the opposite. So veganism is against any use or form of exploitation to animals. So we don't use them in any which way at all. It just relates to your diet because animals are used in the food system. But like if you are anti-racist and those people are used in the food system, you may say you're, I don't know, plant-based if you're not eating humans. Do you kind of understand that it's an ethical stance against like racism, it's an ethical stance against speciesism, to leave animals alone. Go and watch Dominion on YouTube and go see the reality. A lot of people don't even know what veganism means. That's not your fault, so thank you so much for asking questions.
Where can people see inside these places?
Yeah, go to the link in the description at the top of this live stream and go and watch Dominion on YouTube. There's also Pignorant as well, because did you know? I'll tell you something in just a second. If you subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, subscribe and put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream, like, share, and comment. This security guy is constantly on the phone. Constantly on the phone. What they're likely doing is calling the trucks to delay the trucks or let the truck drivers know that we are here, because what they'll do is maybe put slats up, maybe they'll wait in lay-bys, maybe they'll be like, right, let me know when you're coming so I can open the gate so we can't see the animals. Ask yourself why they don't want you to see the animals, okay? All we are doing is we are exercising our right to our right to protest on public land. We're filming from public land, and all we're trying to film is the animals going into this horrible place called a slaughterhouse so that people connect. Because a lot of people never even think about the cows when they have a burger. When they have a burger made of flesh, you don't see the cows. You don't see them crying for their life. When you have dairy, you don't realize that those cows have been abused their entire life. When I say their entire life, every single animal that goes to slaughter is a baby, but the oldest are the dairy cows, and they're around 3 to 4 years old. Naturally, they should live around 27 years old. Was there any questions? Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe at the top, put 2 in the chat.
Sounds like a truck, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not, you're okay.
If you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Not that truck there, the grey one?
No. No. It looks like a small holding truck, but it's not.
Yeah, okay, no, sorry guys. There's so much traffic going along here. Some trucks look like they could potentially have like holes for the animals. So yeah, they're always going to come this way. So that's why I'm constantly looking that way. I'm at a slaughterhouse today, guys. I'm not here to rage bait. I'm not here to hate on you. I'm actually here as your friend to tell you what is happening behind closed doors, because these industries, they lied to you, they lied to me, and I used to pay their wage and I had no idea. I had no idea.
Lost the handle, but someone said, what about fish?
What about fish? Yeah, thank you for bringing up fish. Fish feel pain, just like you and I. In fact, they might feel pain even more so. They have peripheral nerves on the outside of their bodies, so they can determine the water temperature, the water currents, very sensitive. And when the experimentation was done where had a tank of fish and they put like dividers in one part to put poison and their food in one part, the fish, when they could get to the other side, chose not to because they didn't want to be hurt. They'd rather starve than get hurt. So it shows that they feel pain. Veganism is the baseline. It's the ethical stance that we shouldn't hurt animals at all. Most people are against animal abuse, but they just don't realise that when they pick up a glass of cow's milk, you don't realise the abuse you're paying for. You don't realise the forcible impregnation, which I call grape without the G, okay? We switching?
Yeah, switching. Amazing. Well done. Guys, please subscribe. Put 1 in the chat. Let us know if you're vegan. Subscribe. Put 2 in the chat. Let us know if you're not vegan yet, but you're a kind person and you're wondering why we're here. And we appreciate your time. And I want you to know that we're not here to clash with non-vegans. We're not here to oppose you, point fingers at you. We're here to converse with you and talk to you and educate you on the facts that the industry don't want you to know. Please subscribe. Put 3 in the chat if you're an anti-vegan. If you think that being kind to cows, chickens and pigs is triggering and it makes you put meat emojis into the chat, please subscribe and hit the bell notification. Please double tap the stream. Please go into the link in the description, top 3 dots in the corner, and go and watch the top 2 documentaries, Dominion and Pigment. Then you are educated and you know the truth. These industries have hidden the truth from you, and they don't even just tell you the transparency. They're not even honest. They're dishonest, and they replace the honesty with lies.
Yeah, just like Keaton Dean here. I would like to mention that while you may think you know everything about what is happening, you have no clue. The male cows die when they are 10 years old.
No.
What a lie.
No, listen, let's talk about male calves in the dairy industry. The dairy industry will do 1 or 2 things. They'll just use normal semen from a bull, and if they have a male born in the dairy industry, then they just execute them within like a couple of days to a week old, because the males in the dairy industry don't produce milk, and dairy cows are a specific breed of cows who are specifically exploited for milk. Males in the beef industry or the meat industry are usually killed at around 18 months old. They're grown super fast, they're kept with their mums to grow really quick, and they're killed at around 18 months old. The third option in the dairy industry is they may use sexed semen, where they use beef semen for the dairy cows so that she still produces a baby and she still produces milk for her baby, yet the male born can be put into the meat industry and executed for meat. That's the industries that you want to support if you're not vegan. Doesn't that sound messed up for you? Did you notice that babies taken away from their mums for milk? So double tap, please like and subscribe, and put 1 if you are vegan. Subscribe and put 2 in the chat. If you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations, thank you for being here. We're not here to clash, we're here to talk and educate. So please put your questions and comments in the stream. And please subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan.
Barry, someone put, also farmers don't kill viable livestock.
Farmers kill all livestock. So don't say that farmers don't. No matter what way you look at it, if an animal is born into what, in my opinion, is the slave system of animal agriculture or animal exploitation, all animals, 100% of animals, will be slaughtered. They get sent to slaughterhouses to be stabbed to death and executed. So saying farmers don't execute viable livestock, they kill all of them. This system is designed to take life. And it's also designed to be deceptive to the members of public. We're here today outside of a slaughterhouse to bring you the reality and the truth of that. We're not here to cause alarm, harassment, distress, or any form of intimidation. We're here today under our right to peaceful protest and assembly, freedom of speech. We're not here to clash with non-vegans. We're here to educate you. We're here to actually show you something that the industry tries so hard to keep from you. They don't want you to see what we're showing you. Why do you think this guy here is having to push and pull the gate manually?
Yeah.
Why is the CCTV pointing at us? Why is all the spike fences around here? Why did the trucks get phoned and held off or advised that activists are here? So give us a call when you're down the road about to turn in. You watch today. Any truck that turns up here today that doesn't have animals on will pull up here, and it will take about 5 minutes for that gate to open and close. Any truck that turns up here today with animals on will be inside that gate within 10 seconds. And there's a reason for that. Have you got questions?
Barry, again, triggered probably an animal farmer, but this is not a slaughterhouse.
This is a slaughterhouse. This is ABP Slaughterhouse. It says on the side there, ABP UK Guildford Slaughterhouse. They're executing cows here. This slaughterhouse here specifically only kills cows, and they kill cows from the dairy industry and the meat industry. We're here today to show the kind, compassionate people, the individual behind the products that are marketed to them. When you go to the supermarket, the cow's milk is marketed to you in a way where you don't think there's any violence or exploitation attached. When you go to the supermarket and you buy pig's flesh, you don't think there's any marketing attached. That triggered idiot was sat there for 5 minutes before they beep. They only beep because they drove off to beep.
Really?
Just ridiculous. Why do people get so triggered and so angry at a message of peace and kindness? The message here, guys, is let's be kind, let's consider animals, let's morally consider anyone who has the ability to suffer. And it's met with such anger. It's crazy to me. Subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe and put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to the conversation and you wonder why vegans are outside of the slaughterhouse live streaming. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan and if being kind to animals triggers you. We're here today to show you the truth. Go into the description and watch Dominion and Pignorant, top 2 documentaries. Got more questions?
We've got a kind super thanks from Hangout with Deji. He put, go guys.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your super thanks.
Thank you for being here.
All super thanks and all donations go directly to helping animals. So thank you to help us in helping them. We're here today solely to show you them and connect you with them. So when you go to the supermarket, like I was saying, you don't just see a packaged product, you'll see the individuals that come past you today.
Bax Thunder, thank you for your kind super thanks.
Thank you.
Put, I don't see a difference between the life of a plant or an animal. So I believe if not humans, those not deserve humanity. Food is food.
You don't see the difference between a plant and an animal. All animals or just animals that you've been conditioned to exploit.
Yeah.
Do you actually think like cutting the grass is the same as throwing a load of dogs in a blender? Because that's your statement. If that's how you actually believe, if I took like 100 puppies and threw them all inside of a blender, you would see it as the same atrocity as me taking the lawnmower out and cutting the grass. Plants aren't sentient. Plants don't have a central nervous system. Plants may be alive, but they don't have pain receptors. They don't have a brain. They don't have a spinal column. They're not sentient. We care about sentience. When animals are sentient, then they should be left alone.
Minecraft fan put, you can be vegan, that's fine. But if you're insulting people who do eat meat, that's pretty stupid. You can think it's not right, but insulting people who eat meat is wrong.
Who have we insulted? We're not insulting anybody. We've stipulated multiple times during this live stream that we're not here to clash and point fingers and call names. We're here to tell you the truth, not apologise for it, and bring you the facts that the industry paid billions of pounds to keep covered up. If you feel like we're attacking you, or if you feel like you're taking it personally, it's probably because you're conscious or your empathy inside you knows that what we're saying is right. You feel uncomfortable because you know vegans are right. When vegans say that we should be vegan and stop exploiting animals, you probably know that we're right, and that's why it makes you feel uncomfortable. Nobody is attacking you. Go and watch Dominion in the link tree, go and watch Pignorant in the link tree, and then come back and tell me what you think. Subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe and put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're a kind person. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to the message for the animals. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're an anti-vegan. If you think that being kind to animals it triggers you. And please double tap this live stream. Did you know some facts? Let me tell you some facts while I'm stood outside this slaughterhouse. I keep looking this way, by the way, because this is where the animals will be coming.
Yeah, and I can see like the security was doing weird things. He had like some paperwork and then he walked
that paperwork
way.
Is probably the truck timetables coming in. Let me give you some facts, guys. 20% or more of dairy cows, that's cows specifically exploited for their breast milk, will come to a slaughterhouse to be killed pregnant. They'll have babies inside their stomachs, and the reason being is because dairy cows are sold on how much they weigh. Did you know that piglets at 6 months old are sent to gas chambers to be killed in CO2 gas? The gas forms carbonic acid on any mucousy membrane. They burn from the inside out before they get stabbed in the throat. Did you know that sheep have a process called mulesing done to them for wool? They slash the backs of their legs all the way up to their bumhole to create huge scar tissue areas. They also clip and cut off their tails and genitals to make sure that they don't get fly strike because of the amount of sheep brought into existence to exploit for wool and their meat. You got more questions?
No, he's like talking to himself. Weird.
No, he's on the phone, I think. I think he's got headphones in, he's on the phone.
Yes, number 5. Weird, we've had this twice in 2 days. We wouldn't have lived till now if we never had eaten meat because the plants in the Ice Age were dead. Yeah,
well, listen, great. We've evolved. We don't need to do it anymore. That's like saying we wouldn't be where we were if we didn't invoke slavery.
Yeah.
But would we still justify slavery now? No, of course not. You wouldn't be free in the country you are if there wasn't a war. So, you know what? Let's all go back to war and let's blow everyone up. Let's promote it. Of course not. These are absolute crazy statements. The key point of your position there was evolution. And if you can evolve and keep evolving, we've evolved to a position where we don't need to exploit animals anymore.
Oh, that's why. I thought he was doing something weird. The refrigeration truck's coming out.
This is the only way that the animals get to leave, by the way. The animals who come through the very gate this way alive will only leave this very place that way, chopped up in a refrigerated lorry, sent to a supermarket.
Look,
Now,
we'll show you the lairage quick. What's come out? This is the lairage just hit. Sorry to interrupt you. Look, this is the lairage here. Oh, look, dancing guy's back. That's the lairage there. That's inside of a slaughterhouse right there, guys.
The one thing that I want you all to notice is how close the injustice is. When you go to the supermarket, you think that you're far removed from the injustice because you're picking up the products. But when you see this, do you notice that the same products that you pick up in the supermarket come from the same place that animals were stabbed to death and murdered? When you go to the supermarket and you create a demand, you are literally a direct link to the slaughterhouse. Then products, quote unquote products, because animals aren't products, then products that you pick up came from a slaughterhouse. And then products were stabbed and murdered and gassed inside the same facility. Let me swap over with Mel.
Yeah, just remember, guys, we are not here to hate on you. We're not here to judge you, point fingers and say that you're a bad person, but we are here to tell you the truth, and we do speak with fury and we do speak with passion, because behind me is a slaughterhouse where animals are being killed today. Behind me, the cows from the dairy industry and the beef industry are having their lives taken away. When I say having their lives taken away, I'm putting that very lightly. They're being brutally stabbed and murdered behind this evil place. They're having their skin ripped off their body whilst likely still alive, because that's what happens in these places, likely still alive where they're being dismembered. This place, thank you so much, this place also had FSA breaches as well, but we're not here for animal welfare, we're here for animal rights. We need to abolish this evil industry, and we do that by living vegan. Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Please subscribe at the top of this live stream, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And please subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream, keep liking and commenting and asking questions.
Strange Eons 28, thank you very much for your kind super thanks and your question.
Thank you.
Would you guys be okay with a more ethical farm or farming system?
No, so this is the thing, they try and indoctrinate you to think that there's a right way to farm animals or to kill animals, but those farms are exploitation camps, okay? They're purely there to exploit animals and to use them and kill them to profit from them. Now, there's no right way to use you as a slave and then kill you, even if it was done in a nice way and you lived in a palace and you got taken inside this place and they patted you on the head to sleep. That's still your life. Everything that you have has been taken away from you, and someone else thinks that they own that, and they don't use that as protection, they use that as oppression. Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Please subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. By the way, everything that we are talking about is standard practice. So the gas chambers for piglets, for turkeys, for baby chickens, disabled baby chickens, they are all standard practice. The knocking of pigs, I'll explain in just a second. Is there a question?
Neo1 put, you do not understand the ecosystem or predator-prey relationships required to bring balance.
The irony that you don't understand the ecosystem yourself, and that's not your fault, I'm not judging you for not knowing. The leading cause of deforestation, ocean dead zones and animal extinction, which affects every ecosystem, is animal agriculture. Now, you talk about ecosystem and the natural way of doing things, but if you're not vegan, are you still drinking the cow's milk intended for a baby cow? So you use your narrative to fit your narrative at one stage, but then you use the same narrative to think that this is okay. Like, it's simple and it's really easy to understand. If you are not vegan, you pay for slaughterhouses, experimentations, and horrific things to happen to animals, and you can be vegan today. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe at the top, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and subscribe, put 3 in the top of the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream, keep like, sharing, and please comment.
Backed Thunder put with a super thanks. Backed Thunder, thank you for your kind super thanks.
Thank you.
They put, how do you expect humans to be kind to animals when we're not kind to ourselves? Also, I do believe that being vegan is terrible for the environment because large soy farms destroy so much of the ecosystem.
Okay, thank you so much for your kind super thanks. And yeah, again, you're a bit confused and that's not your fault. So the majority of soy in the world is fed to animals who are forced into existence. There's 90 billion land animals, that's not even including sea animals, forced into existence every year who eat the majority of grains and soy. Only 4% of soy actually gets put into the human food system. So if we didn't have animal agriculture, we would not only stop deforestation, massive deforestation for soy, we also would free up 75% of the world's land, would have abundance of food to feed our human species and have no starvation and free up 75% of the world's farmland so we can rewild and have better, everything gets better when you go vegan. But remember, veganism is only about animals. It's only about the use and ethical stance against animal exploitation. It's like being against racism. You wouldn't say, I'm anti-racist because it's better for the environment. It's better for the individual. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream. There are links in our description. Documentaries called Dominion. Go and watch that to know why vegan, and then you can figure out the rest.
I'm amazing. Another super thanks as per animals needs rights ? That's a special kind of stupid.
Yeah, it's really sad and stupid. First of all, thank you for your super thanks. It's really sad and stupid that our human species has to have laws in place to protect one another and animals. It's sad and stupid that I think that humans that can't just be kind naturally. Okay, but there's always going to be psychopaths of the world that you need rules and you need regulations and you need laws protecting individuals, especially the most innocent, like children and animals. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream, like, share and comment.
Anyone joining the live stream, where are you? What are we doing today?
Yeah, I'm at a slaughterhouse behind me. They kill cows from the dairy industry and the beef industry. These cows from the beef industry and the dairy industry are 2 different breeds of cows. One has been bred to grow large in a short space of time. That is the beef cows, and they get sent to a slaughterhouse at 18 months old, babies, okay? The others are the dairy cows who have been selectively bred. Are you coming in here? Selectively bred to produce so much milk that their udders are huge. They go through such horrific torture, exploitation, and have babies taken away from them, because the only reason a cow produces milk is because she is a mother. Look, inside a slaughterhouse here, 2 security on the gate who have to open and close this gate because they don't want you to see animals, okay? If you look inside here, you can see the lairage. This is where the animals are kept. The cows are kept before they get taken into the kill floor. Why? Why are they so, unhinged and secretive? Because they know what they're doing is wrong, but they want your money, so the things that they have to do is hide this industry from you. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded, but not vegan yet, and subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream. How many likes we got here?
146.
Let's get to 150 as soon as possible. Animals will be turning up here today. This live stream is a life and death live stream. It really is. This isn't like, I prefer blue t-shirt and you prefer red t-shirt. This is life and death. If you are not vegan, the consequence of your actions is that animals are being tortured, abused, mutilated and sent to slaughterhouses for you when you can change.
Redhead Outdoors, thank you very much for your comment. You have changed me from a 3 to a 2, but I want to know, so what about all the villages in places like islands or Southeast Asians who rely on fishing and farming to survive?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for your honesty, first of all. So basically those countries are actually, like Asian countries are plant-based by default a lot of places because they don't have access to animal products. Because animal products actually have they're actually really expensive, but our government subsidises them with our tax money by like 90% to make that as cheap as possible for us. Otherwise, like one burger would be like £100, including obviously the death and torture of the animal itself. Now, if there are places that do rely on fishing or things like that, currently we transport food, plants around to feed animals all over the world right now. All we'll do is we'll transport the plants to the people who need it the most, and we'll solve world hunger because we have abundance of food on our earth, but right now it's being fed to animals who are then killed and then sentenced to a gas chamber or slaughterhouse for you to eat, when you could just eat the plants and we'd have so much. Because there's 90 billion animals in the world, there's only 9 billion humans. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream. Keep asking these awesome questions. Keep liking, commenting and sharing.
Muddled put, what is your opinion on vegetarians? Do you support me, or am I a horrific animal torturer?
No, so I'm not. Okay, first of all, thank you for your question, and I'm not saying to anybody on this live stream that you're a horrific person. That is not my aim, because I used to pay for these places as well. I'm not judging anybody, it's just that we don't know. A lot of people who go vegetarian actually do have a heart for animals, and they do care. We believe vegetarian was made by the industry itself, because this is a business made from killing animals. When people have like a connection moment, their the first thing they think is that if I don't eat animals, then I'm not hurting animals. But in the dairy industry, that is the meat industry, and it's the veal industry, and they get tortured. They have they get forcibly impregnated because the only reason cows produce milk is for their babies. If they give birth to a male, they're taken away and killed, just little babies. We've seen them go to slaughterhouses ourselves because they don't want that child drinking the breast milk intended for them, because they want to take that and sell that to humans to make profit. Also in the egg industry, let me explain the egg industry in just a moment. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe at the top, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream, keep sharing and commenting. So again, I used to think that eggs were like an innocent product. I didn't realize that chickens have actually been selectively bred to lay 300 eggs a year. Naturally, they should only lay 12. So they have all that nutrients depleted from their body. And when they're 18 months old, their egg production slows down. The farmer will send them to a gas chamber the majority of their time, or a slaughterhouse to be killed, and then he'll renew them. Basically, what they do at the hatchery, where they have the eggs who are fertilized, when they determine, they basically want the females to go to barns to lay the eggs. When they determine the eggs, they determine the males and the females. They sex them between male and female. The males don't produce eggs, so what they do is they class them as a waste product and they put them in a blender alive. That's standard practice, or a gas chamber, or tie them up in a black bag and they suffocate to death for eggs. People don't even realize this happens, and that's not your fault.
Strange Eons, thank you very much for your super thanks. And your question is, what are your opinions on hunting? Surely being part of the natural life cycle is acceptable.
Okay, thank you so much for your super thanks and for your question. Just to end the last one, go and watch Dominion. It's in our link in the description at the top of this live stream. Watch Dominion so you'll fully understand why veganism is the baseline of why vegetarian still pays for the oppression of animals. But you might not have just known that. Okay, hunting. Yeah, we don't need to hunt. So without any necessity, there is a lack of justification. It may be back in the day, people may have had to do horrible things to survive, like kill other humans and eat other humans as well as other animals. When we have a choice, and we can, we should always choose the ethical choice for us, and that's to be vegan. If you go out hunting, I don't believe that's a kind thing to do. It is absolutely not. It's murder to the animals. You're taking a weapon on someone who is defenseless, who doesn't even know you're coming, and you're shooting them in the head. That's like me picking up a gun and coming out into the town centre and then just finding someone who's unaware, me shooting them in the head and saying, it's a clean shot, they die instantly, and I use all of their body parts, they fed my family for a month. You would say, why don't you just eat a flipping jacket potato or something else? It's so easy to be vegan, there's no justification to ever harm anyone else unless it's self-defence, and that includes humans as well. Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe at the top, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. I'm at a slaughterhouse behind me. They are killing cows from the dairy industry. They're killing cows from the dairy industry and the beef industry behind me. This is why I speak with such urgency, and I'm trying to be patient with people on the live stream, because I know that you're just a product of your environment. You've been brought up in a world that has taught you that you need meat for protein. That's what I keep seeing in the chat. You need cow's milk for calcium. It's not true. It's just what they have told you. It's a lie. But you don't realize that they're allowed to lie in their marketing and advertisements, which I thought you wouldn't be allowed to do. It's absolutely horrific. They fooled me and they fooled you. And when I first saw inside of a slaughterhouse and I saw a cow from the dairy industry being killed, a mother cow, and I saw her face, I saw how terrified she was, I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that. I didn't realize that they kill cows